The following is a presentation of Santa Monica College.
Welcome to Santa Monica College TV. I'm your host, Ryan Young, and today we're going to be talking about the first four-year degree offered through Santa Monica College. Now, you may be asking how a two-year community college can offer a four-year degree. Well, stay tuned, because in this episode, we'll be exploring the new Bachelor of Science program in Interaction Design set to launch at SMC in 2016. To begin the discussion, I'd like to introduce our first guest, Mr. Frank Dawson. Mr. Dawson is the Associate Dean of Career Technical Education at Santa Monica College. Mr. Dawson, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be here.
No, it's my pleasure. I'm very happy to have you here because this topic is really interesting to me. There's so many different devices out there right now, and I've always wondered how that kind of comes to be, and instead of just thinking, oh, Apple made it or Microsoft made it. Well, there are people that work for those people, for those companies. So I'm really interested in that. So my first question for you is, what makes the program at SMC so unique?
First of all, it's unique in the state of California because community colleges, in terms of how the public education system is organized, community colleges were not meant in California to offer bachelor's degrees. However, 21 states already offer bachelor's degrees at community colleges, the earliest being in the early 1970s. And so we're a little bit late to the game, even though California is known to be ahead of the pack a lot of the times. And this came about because of changes that are still coming about in state law. But Assemblyman Marty Block actually introduced in the legislature a bill that made this possible. And it's only a pilot program right now. It's still against the California rules as far as education is concerned. But under a pilot program that lasts until 2022, 15 community colleges were given the opportunity to offer a bachelor's degree on a one-time basis so far.
Wow, that's really interesting because that means, because it's not legal, I would assume that means that there are other colleges that would have a problem with it, that the fact that it's actually happening here. Has there been any pushback at all?
Not because of the legality issue. Again, the way California's public education system was organized, there were very, very specific responsibilities for the UCs, for the CSUs, and for the community colleges. And so the CSUs, the California State University system, were really concerned about the community colleges now being able to offer bachelor's degrees and kind of encroaching on their territory, particularly at a time when there is a decrease in overall college enrollments. Because the baby boom generation is kind of maxed out and there are fewer births and fewer college-age students at this point.
Yeah.
So the California State University system was very concerned about the community colleges getting this opportunity.
I would be too if I was them, especially because I've heard that it's going to be offered at such a steep discount compared to those other schools.
Well, even in the pilot program, there are limitations. First of all, the degrees can only be offered in a discipline that's not being offered by a UC or a CSU. It can only be offered in a career technical education program, which is why I'm involved in it, the CTE programs. And so that was a major kind of caveat in terms of limiting what programs had a chance to get the degree.
Okay, wow. So how was SMC chosen out of all of the community colleges in California? How was SMC chosen to get this program, this pilot?
This all happened very quickly after the request for proposals went out. In the end, 39 community colleges ended up applying for this opportunity, and of those 39, 15 were selected. Of the 15 that were originally selected, 2 were challenged by the California state system, saying that they were already offering that discipline under another name. And so at the first meeting of the Board of Governors, the 12 of the programs were approved and 3 were not. One, not because of a challenge, but because of some other technical issues with their application. But 2 colleges, Rio Hondo College and Santa Monica College, were challenged by the CSUs, saying that they were already offering these degrees under a different name.
Under the 2-year degree versus the 4.
Exactly.
Wow. So can you talk about the process of getting this approved and what kind of submissions were required?
The Santa Monica College, I'm really proud of the effort that was made on so many different levels. One of the things our former president, Dr. Sang, asked us to do was to find, to get letters from a minimum of 100 companies in the Santa Monica area in supporting a minimum of 100. We ended up getting, I was either 107 or 108.
Oh,
and I mean, it was truly, truly a group effort in terms of the number of departments and the number of people who chipped in to make that happen. And the cooperation also of local industry in seeing this as a need that would be satisfied with this opportunity. And so I think that meant a lot in the application. But then also, our proximity on the west side here to the tech industry, Silicon Beach.
Exactly. I've heard a lot about Silicon Beach because it's really, it's all moving from Silicon Valley to where the weather is warmer, LA. I mean, this is just a natural, it just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So.
And believe me, Silicon Valley is not being hurt by this at all. There's enough room for everybody. But this is a burgeoning area as far as new tech companies and startups coming to this area. So our proximity to those companies made so much sense that we'd be able to grow more talent, right here in their backyard. And so that was helpful as well. And then interaction design, as you will discuss in the program, people were, interaction design, what is that?
Yeah.
So a lot of interest in that as well.
Well, and I think it's really interesting. People now, especially the new generation, the millennials, right? Mm-hmm. They all they know is the internet. And to actually get a career started creating those things and that technology that people are going to be using, that's really exciting.
Right.
I'm not quite a millennial, but I still have those feelings. Obviously, I remember when there wasn't the internet, and we had to go to a store like Blockbuster to get the disc for AOL Instant Messenger. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hilarious to me that the people are alive now that don't know what that world was like.
It is, one of the wonderful things I think also about this degree in interaction design, that it includes not just things that happen on the internet, but as far as product development and product design are concerned. And so there are companies across so many different businesses that have a need for this particular service, in terms of people who understand consumer behavior and understand the psychology of it, and how artists and work in teams with engineers and play a role in terms of developing products. If you look at an automobile and you say, "Oh, I love the look of that car," that automobile, interaction designers have played a role in terms of both the look of the automobile and how humans interact with the vehicle. Mm-hmm. How easy is the interface inside the car itself? Yeah. And so this degree just has such a wide-ranging application that it just makes all the sense in the world.
You just said something that made me realize the importance of the human interaction piece. Everyone knows that to swipe left means you're not interested, right? Thanks to a mobile application called Tinder, right? Now the iPhone has a similar swipe when you want to delete something. Mm-hmm. That simple gesture has been so ingrained in the human psyche, at least in the first world where people actually have this technology. Mm-hmm. It has been so ingrained, it's actually become part of our culture. I think it's really important because that goes to the fact that interaction design is not just on the surface. It really is getting deep into how humans interact with each other and technology.
Right. And the degree itself being at a community college, and just to finish off the other thought in terms of how we were finally approved, mm-hmm. At the second Board of Governors meeting, after we had collected the letters, and also the team at Santa Monica College did a wonderful job of really exploring and looking at what was being offered by the CSUs, and clearly they were not being, they should have been, and I think that was part of their interest here. They should have been offering a degree in this area, but they were not. At the second Board of Governors meeting, Governor Brown showed up at the meeting before the vote was taken. Wow. And he listened to the CSUs make their comments, and he listened to some other things, and then he spoke himself about the need for this at this particular time, and the fact that he was taking the CSU's concerns under consideration. Mm-hmm. And but he really talked about how there was a real need for this, and for so many different reasons. And so after the governor spoke, the Board of Governors voted, and the degree was approved unanimously.
Wow. Well, it's amazing that the state is so behind that. I don't think that happens very often.
The chancellor of the California Department of Education, Bryce Harris, the chancellor, along with the vice chancellor, Pam Williams, I think her name is, they were so supportive of this. Met with people at the college a number of times and said, we're going to get this done. And so they were really solidly behind that. And I think one of the reasons also, when you look at the cost of this degree and the rising cost of higher education, which for me is just not sustainable. So many people are being locked out of higher education because of the increasing cost. Here's a degree now at a community college that'll only cost a student $10,000, unheard of. And what we're doing now, Santa Monica College is also part of a regional consortia to offer dual enrollment in the high schools. It's called LA High Tech, where students are taking our courses now in high school and getting college credit for it. So, and we're paying for those classes. So students who begin on the pathway toward this degree while they're still in high school can complete up to 12 units that we're paying for. And so this degree will cost them, if they come to Santa Monica College, less than $10,000. Wow. So when we talk about equity and diversity and the major game changer this can be, it's just an idea whose time has come, and it's just incredibly important.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you think that having this program at SMC will help level the playing field for everybody, other than the fact that it's going to be so affordable? Is there something specific that SMC will be able to add to the program to really level the playing field?
Well, I think it's SMC and its community colleges in general. There's really an evolving role of community colleges now in our society in terms, and we've heard the President Obama and the federal government talk about this as well. The need so much as far as employment is concerned in our country is not that we don't have jobs, it's just that we don't have skilled workers for those jobs. And the community colleges have been identified as being in the best position to address that need. We're more nimble. Students come back to us a lot from four-year schools after they've been at Santa Monica, and they come back and say, oh, we miss Santa Monica College so much. We really, at our four-year schools, we don't get to see our professors, and there's just a sense of alienation. And so the community colleges really, fulfill a different kind of role, and it's really exciting for community colleges now to get that recognition. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to see more and more of this. This pilot program, some people are talking about now, before the pilot even ends, that more community colleges are going to be able to offer these bachelor's degrees because it's something that's really needed. Mm-hmm. In the state of California, there's talk that there's 65,000 more bachelor degrees needed each year than we're producing right now. And the Cal State and the CSU system won't be able to handle that alone. And so it's really clear, and I think that's going to happen before the 6 years are up as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's incredible, 60,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to speak with Jamie Kavanaugh, the faculty leader for the new Interaction Design Bachelor's Degree program at SMC. Stay tuned.
It's a wireless world out there, so be sure to stay connected with Santa Monica. Follow us on Twitter for the latest announcements. Receive instant updates on activities citywide. Like us on Facebook and join in on the conversation. Stay connected with your city. And don't miss a tweet.
Riding a bicycle can seem like child's play.
But only if you're playing indoors.
Riding in the real street has real consequences.
Play it safe. Ride by the rules.
Cars and bikes need to play together.
Discover 30 years of opera in Santa Monica. Discover the Verdi Chorus.
Welcome back. We're talking about the Interaction Design Bachelor's Degree program launching at SMC in 2016. Joining me now is Professor Jamie Kavanaugh, the lead faculty for the upcoming program. Jamie teaches a range of topics including user experience, responsive web design, mobile, and interaction design. She is the assistant chair for the Design Technology Department at SMC. Thank you so much for joining us, Jamie.
Thank you, Ryan.
It's so exciting to have you here because it's a really exciting time for technology.
It is.
But we need the people to make that technology.
That's right.
So let's start off by defining what exactly interaction design is.
Yeah, interaction design are those experiences that we have every day, be it with a website or a mobile app, a wearable, a smart object. So interaction designers really design for behavior, and it's very user-centered design. So we really care about how to design for the user and make it really intuitive and useful for them.
Well, I appreciate that because I like technology and devices.
I see that. I see your watch.
Yes, I'm a bit addicted,
Yes.
so I appreciate it. So why did SMC choose this degree?
It was a natural progression for us. We already have an Associate of Science degree in graphic design with a concentration in user experience design. So we wanted to develop a program that would allow our students to go and dive deeper into user experience design and interaction design. We're also, located in the heart of Silicon Beach, so we're really in a perfect location for it, and we have so much support from industry. When we put together our proposal, we ended up having like over 100 letters of support.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So that brings me to my next question. What are some employment opportunities that students have after going through a program like this?
There are a lot of opportunities. Our designers will go out into industry and work as interaction designers, user experience designers, web or mobile designers, user interface designers. So there's a lot of different opportunities. And again, we're located in just such a perfect place for this degree.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what are some of the upper division interaction design courses that are going to be available?
Yes, we're really excited. Our curriculum is in development, and we have put together an amazing curriculum. We worked really closely with our Interaction Design Advisory Board members who come from industry. And so the curriculum that we put together, we have 3 interaction design studio courses. We have a product design course, interactive storytelling, which is a combination of motion and a storytelling component, because that's such an important skill set to have as an interaction designer. We have tangible interaction, so having our students dive in deeper into the Internet of Things, wearables, connected smart objects. We have a really exciting course called Design for Community Change, which will allow our students to work more closely with community leaders and specifically about issues that are important to them. We've got a senior studio course, and then our program really is about making sure that our students are career ready. So we also provide a project management for design course, portfolio course, internships.
Wow.
It's very exciting.
So all of that makes me think that this is a very expensive program, but SMC is doing something different. So first of all, how much does a program like this cost outside of SMC, and how much will it cost next year?
Yeah, there are not many interaction design programs, bachelor programs. The few that exist are at private colleges, and so they're tens of thousands of dollars at these private colleges. Our interaction design Bachelor of Science degree will be under $10,000.
Wow.
So it's very exciting to open this up to a much broader population of student.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about that.
I heard a number that it was over $130,000 for the 4-year degree at some universities. So to hear that it's under $10,000 is incredible.
It is amazing.
Wow. So how do students apply?
Well, thank you for asking that, because our submission process just opened up. So it's running from November 15th to January 15th of 2016. Okay. So for students who are in junior standing, so that means that they will have completed 60 units of CSU transferable coursework, they can submit materials to our program. So one of the best things they can do for people who are interested is to go to our website at www.smcixd.org. We have an apply page where they can get all the information on how to submit materials.
What are a few examples of the materials that one would submit?
Great question. We are obviously looking for more information about your background. So we want to know more about a prospective student's background. So they would be submitting a form, personal essay questions, and then we do have a portfolio component, which is detailed exactly what we're asking for with that component.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So when exactly does the program start? I know 2016, but is there a specific date?
We are going to be offering our upper division coursework in fall 2016.
Oh, wow, it's a year out, but that's going to fly by.
Yeah, it is. So the submission process is occurring now until January 15th, and then we're going to get everything prepared to start our courses fall of 2016.
And how many students are you anticipating to start?
Our first group of students, we will have anywhere from 50 to 60 students in that first class in fall 2016.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Well, I would first of all like to thank you for stopping by and joining us, because this has been really informative. For anyone else that wants to learn more, can you just give the website one more time?
Yes, smcixd.org. All the information is there. So please check it out there. Thank you so much for your interest in the program. We're really excited about it.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan.
Great having you on.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now we're going to be right back after a short break, where we'll be speaking with two students who are currently enrolled in the graphic design program here at SMC. Stay tuned.
Hey, Carly.
Yeah, Walker?
Catch a load of these three.
Looks like they're gonna meet in a way they never expected.
Technology is a great thing when used correctly, but if you're looking at your phone, you're not watching the road. And if you're not watching where you're going, bad things happen.
How far does $1 go today? Not far, huh? Think again. Los Angeles Regional Food Bank creates 4 healthy meals with $1. We mobilize resources to feed people in need. Help us reach our vision that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County.
At the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Monica, we build long-lasting relationships with our kids.
Love. Friendships.
Support. Trust.
Learning.
I know. Fun. All that and a lot more.
We're not just a club.
We're family.
Great futures start here.
Welcome back to the show. For this segment, we will be sitting down with Alicia Ippolito and Casey McAllister, who are currently enrolled in the graphic design department at SMC. Welcome to the show, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So let's start off by talking about your interest in the interaction design program that will be offered at SMC next year. Can you speak to that?
Sure. I learned about interaction design when I was working with a developer friend of mine, and she asked me, have you ever heard of interaction design? And I said, no. And I looked it up and I discovered there's this whole discipline where you basically do just that, where you try to make a product usable and valuable. And I thought that was really interesting.
And intuitive. Mm-hmm. And what about you, Alicia?
For me, I was already a graphic design student, and end of semester in 2014, we were petitioning for the program to come to SMC, so I was part of that.
That actually was my next question. If you guys could talk about your involvement on bringing this program, which has been around for your colleges for a while now, how you were involved in bringing that to Santa Monica College.
Well, part of that was writing a letter and discussing how it would be valuable for us as students, and for our careers, and working in Silicon Beach, it's very important to my career. So
that's great.
In terms of me, I was approached actually by another faculty member. I was interested in interaction design as a major before there were any whispers of SMC's program. So I had been doing all my homework, and I looked around all the schools all over the country and even outside of the country, frankly, that had these bachelors to offer. And I was at SMC trying to fulfill some of those transfer requirements for those schools when one of my art teachers, of all things, approached me. He had been at a meeting with Jamie where she had announced the idea that SMC was going to go forward with this proposal. And he knew that I was interested in interaction design and pulled me aside and said, look, you know, this isn't official, but there is an opportunity that your school may be offering your major. And he put me in touch with Jamie, and as luck would have it, I was already enrolled in one of her web design classes. And we got to talk a little bit, and through that I was able to do a couple an interview, and I was able to talk a little bit about my excitement about the program and how valuable it would be to the community, which appeared in a couple local papers just to kind of get the buzz out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So before you started this program, you were in law?
Yes, I was working in immigration law, yes.
So that's quite the change.
It's quite the shift, yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. So, well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for really leading the charge, leading the charge and having it brought here. And how fortunate for you that you didn't have to go across seas to get this degree.
It certainly would have been fun, but I'm very happy to stay at home, yeah.
And it's a lot cheaper.
A little bit.
Yes.
Having it be at SMC. So I want to know how you guys plan on using the degree that you achieve at SMC in your future careers.
Well, the great thing about studying interaction design and getting this kind of degree is it can lead so many different ways in terms of the job market. There are so many opportunities available right now, even in Santa Monica and Southern California, for people with this kind of skill set. You can be a user experience designer, you can of course be an interaction designer, you can work more on the development side. My personal interest, I would love to work at a design agency where you get to kind of work on a multitude of different projects, whether they be web or mobile, or even beyond. We're seeing a lot of different kinds of products that are kind of going beyond screens, which is a really exciting way to go.
Wow, okay. And what about you, Alicia?
For me, I'm currently working in a mobile department inside Silicon Beach. So I'm already putting some of these skills to use, and it would really help me establish a footing in the industry.
That's great.
Yeah.
So when you talk about going beyond screens, can you talk about that? Because that's really interesting to me, because all I know are screens. You got your phone, you got your watch, you got your TV, your computer, everything. So what does that mean?
Well, there's a phrase that gets thrown around a lot in the interaction design user experience arena that is the best user interface is no user interface. And I think you'll start seeing more of this as kind of time goes on and technology just gets even crazier and crazier into the future. So it's kind of about like thinking about how can we make these products usable seamlessly and invisibly. And it's kind of a crazy thing to wrap your head around because we're used to these little screens, but that's really the way things are moving in the future.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. What will happen with interaction design once we all have chips implanted in our brains? Will that be I mean, I assume that somebody would have to design that, right?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. There are people who are trying to they have said, I will put a chip in my brain. There actually are people out there who are working on this. There are a lot of people who taking wearables, for instance, and kind of taking that a step further and really integrating it into their chemistry and their biology. Implantables, exactly. Ingestibles are already here.
In California, Colorado, and Washington. But technology, wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, so that's really the great thing about why this program is so exciting, because it's really beyond computers, it's beyond cell phones, it is really the way of the future.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming here today. This has been really informative for me. I'm actually not in the graphic design world, but I'm now considering getting this degree. And I want to thank you guys for that. Thank you so much.
See you there.
Thanks for having us.
And that's our show for today. If you would like more information about Santa Monica College or the new Interaction Design program, visit smc.edu or call 310-434-4000. Thank you so much.